Pawpaw eating with his late wife and other tender grandparents that made us cry. Our grandparents are some seriously awesome people. Without them, there would be no us. Besides being everlasting pillars of support and kindness, they also do stuff that makes our hearts completely seize up and feel the aww. After a tweet about someone's pawpaw eating lunch at a wedding with his late wife went viral, we wanted to compile a list of all the sweet things our grandparents do. Do we deserve them? No, we don't. They're salt of the earth and we should cherish them. When his granddaughter Sarah got married, this grandfather sat down to share the special moment with a memorial to his late wife. She would have wanted to be there with him for this special moment, so it's a good thing they had her there in some capacity so she could spend it with the people she loved. This tweet went completely viral after it was posted by the bride. Yeah, this one's a tearjerker. She captured such a tender moment that definitely reminds us of all the sweet things our grandparents do. This tweet went viral a few years ago. Thanks to Twitter user @KelseyHarmon and her grandfather Kenny Harmon, the internet was collectively reminded to appreciate our grandparents more. Seriously, if you can, go hug your pawpaw and mama now. Imagine not showing up to your grandfather's barbecue after he made all that food for you. It's upsetting to hear about people treating their grandparents this way. Luckily, this family lives in a community that heard about the dinner and wanted to make things right. After the tweet went viral, the community threw a massive cookout in Purcell, Oklahoma at a local flea market owned by the Harmon family. Hundreds showed up to the event and were excited to bring a smile to Pawpaw's face. Needless to say, they need more than 12 burgers. We're happy to report that Pawpaw was able to eat with his whole family this time at the barbecue. Pawpaw said he took the initial cookout where his grandkids didn't show fairly well, saying, "I wanted everyone to be there, but I don't get upset about things. Love you, Pawpaw." Reddit user Banales has literally the sweetest grandmother who eventually came around to love his tortoise like one of her own. Banales writes that their grandma didn't want me to get a tortoise. I come home and my tortoise is wearing a watermelon sweater. It's safe to say she's changed her opinion about this cute little guy. If that handmade watermelon sweater is any indication, do turtles even get cold in their shells? It doesn't matter since he definitely won't now. After not being home for a few years, Reddit user D_Koo decided to journey back and surprise his grandmother. In turn, he writes that his grandmother cooked up my favorite dish as a child. That's just way too sweet. Look at how happy she is to see him and how excited she is that they get to eat together. That food looks incredible too. You can practically smell the peanut butter masala through the screen. This is what love looks like, folks. Cue the aww. This is seriously way too sweet. To make his grandson feel better about his new cochlear implant, his grandfather went and got the same instrument tattooed on his head. Head tattoos are painful, but for sure this sweet kid's smile made it all worthwhile. Cochlear implants are surgical implants that help enhance the hearing of the deaf or hard of hearing. When you're a young kid, having any kind of surgery or device on you is new and scary. But he definitely looks like he's happier knowing that his grandpa is there to support him along the way. We all know how relaxing the motion of the ocean is, unless you get seasick, of course. This grandfather took grandparenting to the next sea level and built his infant grandson a tiny little boat crib. Look at how he used the rope and pulleys to really tie it to the boat theme. The boat itself looks almost functional as well. Thankfully, he'll never have to worry about springing a leak and having to bail out. Unless you're standing over this crib crying about how sweet this gesture is, then you'll need a bucket. Reddit user Misanthrophile had a situation where she witnessed her grandfather's heart completely melt over a grand kitten she brought over. She writes that her grandfather said to keep this cat away from me, then not even 5 minutes later she took a video of them cuddling and playing. This just shows that a cat's cuteness is so incredibly strong that no person on this earth is powerful enough to resist. That or this grandfather is just way too nice to hold a grudge against this tiny kitten. 10s across the board for adorableness. We all know how much our grandparents love and appreciate our school photos. They carry them around constantly and we only catch a glimpse of the 10 or so they have in their wallets when they open them. We should jump on this trend and start carrying around photos of our grandparents. This grandfather shows his granddaughter, Reddit user Return of the Queen 9224, the 20-year-old school photo of her from when she was 5. This granddad has true commitment to his loved ones and the non-creasing cause. This photo looks amazing for how old it is. Here's the moment when a father finds out he's going to be a grandfather, and yes, his reaction is so pure and happy. When his kid gave him a present with a teddy bear inside, this father didn't really know what to expect. When the teddy bear played a message that told him the news, he was so excited. The video ends with his crying his eyes out. Yes, this dad-turned-grandpa just let the tears come while he was holding onto the teddy bear because he was so happy. Just look at that happy grandpa face. This grandpa really had the best reaction to seeing his infant granddaughter. When he spotted her in his daughter's arms, he dropped his cane and took the last few steps unassisted to cradle her in his arms. He then bought her a chair to sit down. The world truly fell away for him when he saw her. He didn't need his cane because he was powered by grandfather love. This is such a heartwarming reaction that all of our grandparents can definitely relate to. You go, super granddad. We all talk to our pets, don't even try to deny it because they're great listeners. But what's next level is this grandfather babying his cat to this level by singing and playing the ukulele to it. This is some high-tier music therapy right here. This adorable grandfather took a few moments out of his day to ensure his cat had an enjoyable day himself by playing Somewhere Over the Rainbow on the ukulele. The best part is the cat actually looks interested, and that's a first for the internet. Reddit user Dog Sees All shows us that our grandparents can be just as big of Harry Potter fans as we are. They write that when the whole family went to Harry Potter, the grandpa said he felt like a kid again. That's the power of Potter, folks. This grandfather's reaction says it all. How nice is it he gets to feel like a childlike sense of wonder again. Shows that you're not too old to have fun and feel the magic. Now, what house do they get sorted into? Our grandparents are proud of everything we do, they just love us so much and they want us to be happy. This grandfather definitely felt that overwhelming grandparent pride when his grandson skated out during his NHL debut game. The moment brought him to tears as it would for every other proud grandpa. The internet did some digging and found out that the player is Tyson Jost, who plays for the Colorado Avalanches. He's a successful NHL player, so I'm sure this happy grandfather has had and will have plenty more happy tears to shed. Reddit user Dazine watched their grandparents have a turnaround moment after the family gave them a cat they didn't want. Dazine writes that they went from saying we don't need a cat to asking, did you set up Lulu's spot for dinner? That's an adorable 180. This photo is adorable and truly shows how loving these two must be to warm up so quickly to Lulu. It's funny that Lulu's spot has only a single lone steak knife. Either the rumors about cats wanting to kill us are true, or Lulu's eating beef tonight. Either way, so cute. Even grandparents want to stay hip with the trends. You're never too old to be fashionable. Reddit user Unfortunately Delaney found that out when her 91-year-old grandfather wanted to be a cool like her, so he asked to switch hats. The results are adorable and truly iconic. He's rocking the floppy hat and she's rocking his military reenactment hat with Rotary Club of Illawarra on it. It's safe to say that these two make an adorable and fashionable pair. What a cutting-edge grandfather. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. It's just rare you see a grandpa and baby imitating each other so perfectly. Who'd have thought their matching looks would come from such different demographics? It's hard to tell from the photo who's imitating whom. Did the baby get jealous of his grandfather's style and then decide to copy? Or did the baby show up one day with cool threads and a sick chair so the grandfather went out and bought his own? Either way, this pair's so sweet and so in sync. Paul Gregg is a retired Boeing R&D aerospace engineer who kept building dreams even after he retired. He wanted to create a fun space for his 6 grandchildren, so he built his wooden roller coaster in his backyard. He didn't stop at just one either. He built an original coaster, a large coaster, and a smaller little rocket coaster. How sweet is all the time he put into this? This is truly a magical land that he's created right in his own backyard, plus no waiting in line. You have to make sure you treat yourself once in a while, whether it's small stuff like getting that expensive foamy coffee concoction from a cafe or buying yourself the car of your dreams. Investing in your happiness is important. Reddit user Nilok the Great's grandmother definitely knows this. For her 84th birthday, she finally got herself the lamb she's always wanted. The ensuing cuteness is almost too much to handle because this little guy follows her everywhere like he's attached to a string. So cute. Reddit user Uber Chimeron has a pair of the sweetest, most empathetic grandparents in the world. They write that after their grandparent's dog gets a haircut, they always put a bandana on him so he doesn't feel naked. If that's not kindness, then what is? This sweet boy Foster definitely won't ever feel exposed or uncomfortable with these grandparents looking out for him. He's also unexpectedly stylish. Hopefully they coordinate the bandana colors to the seasons, because wearing a spring color in the winter would be way more embarrassing than being naked.